Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of the Wood Podcast. This is the inaugural episode of season 3. And then as you can hear, the skateboarding in the background, maybe you can, maybe you can't, but there is skateboarding going on in the other room. We are at the skate gym, and I know that we've talked about it and it's been going on for like a year and a half. It's actually come to fruition. So super stoked about it. This podcast is all about the local scene, the B team, maybe going to be pro one day, but not quite pro yet. I like to get it in early. So yeah, and today I have with me to kick off this brand new season, 2 amazing dudes. Like the first day that we opened the skate gym, these guys walk in. Pablo walks in specifically, brings like a whole box of like merch, and he's like, "Hey dude, welcome to the neighborhood." On behalf of the Bone Crew, I want to give you these sweatshirts, t-shirts, all this clothing and stuff like that. And I guess a few months before, Kurry had listened to the Wood Podcast and shot a DM. He's like, "Hey man, we'll be glad to be on any time to support and stuff like that." And I was like, "That's cool, man." But I didn't know who they were. Well, by the time I opened the skate gym, I have seen nothing but Bone Crew, Bone Crew, Bone Crew. I mean, these guys are thick and deep into the community. They know what's going on. Every skater up here around Leander, Cedar Park, Liberty Hill knows about the Bone Crew. I don't know how many of you guys there are, but we'll get into that and like a little bit more in detail into how this like collective operates. So yeah, welcome to the Wood Podcast, and I want to welcome Kurry and Pablo.
What's up, guys?
How's it going? Guys?
All right, so I guess we should start a little bit with like just a really high-level overview of what the Bone Crew is, and I want to get each of your interpretations on it, just like a quick shot at it. Your elevator pitch, like if you were in an elevator with somebody going up to the 10th floor, what would you say to them about the Bone Crew?
We're just, some skaters from Texas trying to make something happen with the clothing brand. We do all kind of sports, not just skating. We do, wakeboarding, snowboarding, surfing, all that. So if that's your jazz, come on, ride for us. We sponsor all the time. So it's just like, we're just trying to make it happen within the collective scene.
Yeah, to me, the Bone Crew is it started off as a little crew, but we saw an opportunity to be more connected with the community, especially around here, and the community just grows and leaks into other parts of the area. So we started off with just wakeboarding actually, and then skateboarding, and we were like, why not do all the extreme sports? So we're just an extreme sports brand, and we're just trying to bring camaraderie with like all the different brands and sports.
Right on. Just like getting everybody to talk to each other and stuff. Yeah. Creating a community, which you guys have done successfully, seriously. Yeah. And I can't thank you guys enough for like all the support you've given us. I mean, running a skate park is not profitable. It's super hard and it's exhausting. And you and the whole community have like made it like a lot easier.
Well, I appreciate it.
I want to get into each of your kind of individual origin stories on maybe how you got into skateboarding and then where that led to the Bone Crew. And this can be a little bit longer, and we can start with you, Kurry.
So I started skating when I was about 10 years old. My dad got me a little incredible Hulk skateboard from Walmart or whatever. I'm pretty sure he didn't think I was going to last very long on that thing. I just kept, getting on his butt. Like, I want a real board. I want a real skateboard, So for Christmas, he got me like a whole element setup, which is really, really cool. And I shredded the crap out of that thing. I still have it. But I've been skating for about 18 years. And about 4 or 5 years ago, my buddy Toby got me into wakeboarding. And so I've been like just nonstop into wakeboarding. It's crazy how awesome it is and how similar it is to skateboarding and the scene somewhat. It's more snowboarding, but I've just been kind of always obsessed with writing something. It's just like drown out the noise or whatever. It's just like incredibly great outlet for me, just to like be creative and artistic and try to do my best at something that I can never perfect. So it's just like always hungry and always trying to get more and always trying to, get the next best thing that you can get before, time runs out and you can't really, like go downstairs anymore or do any of these things. These injuries start to creep back up on you that you got when you were younger. But, you just make the best of it. You just go out there and ride and have fun with your friends, and you meet new people every time. And it's just a great, great outlet for anybody really. Like, you know, just step on a board, go have some fun with your buds, you know.
Yeah, so me, I started a little late. I was about 14 years old, and a buddy of mine named Andy came through to my house, and he was just bringing a friend that was with him. Well, a friend was with my buddy Andy, right? And they needed water. It was Texas. It was hot, you know, and they just came for water. But I saw he had a board, and my mom was like, just come in, you know, and he brought the board in. We went upstairs to play like video games with my brother or something. And I just was like curious about his board. I've had like Family Dollar skateboards and stuff, but I never got into it because like it wasn't a real board. So he was like, oh, it's a Dark Star and all this. And he goes, I got another board. It's been sitting in the back of my friend's backyard. If you want it, it's probably rained on. It was like an 8.6, but the trucks were like for a 7.75. The wheels were like red. It was a zero. I remember it was a zero Chris Cole board, and the bearings were rusted. But I was like, yeah, I was just ecstatic. Honestly, having a big board like that helped me like stay on the board when riding around. But like, yeah, it was crusty, but I remember his first thing was, hey, if you can go down the sidewalk, then like we can start going to the skate park. And my dad did not like me going anywhere, but since Andy was in front of my house all the time, he started letting me go to the skate park, and we started going there, then street skating. And then years later, when I was around like 16 or something, Kurry moved into Houston, or from Houston into Leander, and he was just a wild dude. And I don't like he was crazy, but he was one of the best skateboarders I've ever seen in person. Like, I'd never seen anybody hit a handrail or anything. And then it really like got me more motivated. And the more the years passed by, the more all the friends started like in the friend group started not skating, but Kurry just kept skating and skating. And he was the only like excuse for me to like actually skate outside. So for a while it was that. Then, wakeboarding comes along. I tried it. It's really hard. I've always had bad knees, so like being stuck on on bindings is kind of weird. But yeah, I've torn my ACL. At 18 years old, I tore my left ACL, and then this ACL is actually torn right now. I just keep a nice brace on it. I don't do any high impact tricks. I do, and I shouldn't be doing any tricks, but it is what it is. But yeah, that's my
backside 180 kickflip. No high impact tricks.
No, just flat ground and maybe some manuals here and there, and just pray to God that I don't mess up, because it could happen very easily. But yeah.
Okay, so how many people would you estimate that are part of the Bone Crew, like either like core or loosely?
So like as a collective, we probably have like 30 riders, and that's like, you know, a mix of both, like loose and like, you know, core. Core probably about 10. Yeah. You know, like when we first started out, and it was just like we were just trying to drop videos and stuff. We really just got the homies on, and we're just like, hey, you know, like nothing serious, but you want to come and ride on our team. And then as it's progressed a little bit more, we've gotten a little bit more aggressive with like who we're trying to get sponsored on the team and like represent us and whatnot. And so like this year, we were really focused on getting the bigger wakeboard team. So when I was out at Quest this year, I've been just recruiting anybody I see, like, hey, if you want to ride for us, you know, we'll throw you some gear, whatever, you know, and, you know, let's just get some clips and like make the best of it, you know, because there's so many good riders everywhere out here that are just like going unrecognized and just not getting just any kind of feedback for like all the hard work they're putting in. And so like we're trying to like basically find those people and bring them onto the crew so they can have that outlet, and like so people can start to notice them and they can get better sponsorships and so on and so on.
Yeah, really great point about a lot of the local rippers out here. I mean, there are tons of local rippers in your local area too, probably, you know, that need recognition. They need the shout outs. And that's part of what the Wood podcast is all about. I also want to give a shout out to the Never Was skateboarding crew. It's, I guess, older guys that never was a pro, never will be a pro. And, you know, those guys are still kicking it, and there's some rippers in there. I want to give a shout out, too, to Beware and Hellsick Skateboards for helping carry this podcast on as well, too. So, you know, yeah, without this community and like this underbelly of like local rippers, there's really no substance to a skateboard scene. So all that depends on guys like you as well. So yeah. So how do like how does the Bone Crew like make decisions?
So that's normally like me and Pablo have a few beers, and then we just sit there and discuss and weigh the pros and cons of what's going on, because it's really just like me and Toby and Thomas created this whole thing, but like financially wise, it's just me and Pablo at the moment. So that's really kind of how it goes. It's like we'll just go to the Leander beer market and just have a couple beers and just be like, okay, like, is this what we want to do? How's this going to help us? How could this hurt us? Kind of deal. And we basically either we agree or we don't, and then it turns into maybe we got to come back to it and talk to it about it another day or whatnot. But it's when the more people you bring into it, the harder it is to make decisions.
Yeah.
Especially for a company. So I think we're going to probably keep it this way for the time being, just because me and Pablo, like, as much as he's my best friend, but we don't always see eye to eye or agree on everything, and that's good because it just causes conflict to be looked at and get resolved. So that's really kind of how it works, is we just kind of have a conversation about it, and either we make something happen or we come back to it.
Right on.
Yeah, we take a long time making these decisions. A lot of especially like t-shirt designs or like what's the next product we make. It takes about like 2 months, 3 months even sometimes. Like riders to put on. Sometimes, actually a lot of times, it's like people we see at a contest or something, or someone we've been riding with for a while. Hey, but like when it comes to like recruiting people that DM us and stuff like that, that's more of a conversation. And I trust his intuition too. So sometimes like if it's like, hey, we need to get this guy on a team, I know it. As like he said, we're best friends, but we're like almost the opposites, which is awesome, because like we can really nitpick on like what we put out there, and like we have different opinions, so we can like funnel those together into like certain little agreements, and we can come with like the best product that works with both of us, and like we've been friends for like forever. So like, I mean, the way we like conversate and the way we put together our ideas, it kind of comes like secondhand,
Yeah, so it's just kind of just flows rather than some kind of awkward, painstaking decision process.
Or like no yes men's.
For sure. Yeah. Okay, so here's one of your designs right here. If you want to hold that up, and both your shirts as well.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about this design process specifically, because Pat from Beware Skateboards, he's really he's a design perfectionist, and he was commenting on the fishbone and how hard that is to do and to print.
So yeah, like last winter I was just searching around on Google and whatnot, and I found this like chromed out bass, and I was like, oh, that's pretty sick. So I like saved it, didn't think anything about it, and then like a couple months later I came back to it, and I'm like, this would be a really cool idea to do a little differently. So my buddy out in Chapel Hill, shout out Ryan and Revolution Printing, they print all our stuff. He's been my best friend since high school, so it was just like a no-brainer to go through him, and he's Texas local as well, so it was just another no-brainer. But him and his dad are crazy gifted at this kind of stuff. I don't know the first thing about designing a shirt, like when taking a design and like redesigning it and stuff like that, and they just do incredible work. And every time we send them something, like even if it's like a bad quality, like somebody did something bad quality on like my end, like bought paid for some image and it was bad quality, it's like takes him seconds to fix it and make it good. And it's just, I don't know, man, they kill it out there. So like if y'all ever need anything printed, for sure, shout out to Revolution Printing.
Yeah, I remember when he showed me the ideas. So usually we'll have like a couple of ideas, and then we'll throw it out to the crew. We have like a group chat, and then we'll just vote on like certain designs too. That was after this was already made. I thought the fish was great because it's like Texas. A lot of people fish. I don't fish, but I know how many of my friends fish. Yeah. Literally last
I don't
week.
Fish either.
Literally last week, I think I seen him post like a fish like he caught. It was pretty big, but I was I remember when he brought the idea, and Ryan has been like the best, honestly. Not only will he take like a design like that, but like you said, it could be low quality. It could be chicken scratch. Like this logo right here was a doodle that Kurry did whenever he was at work or something. And this one on the back right here If I get this, it's a little TV. So the TV was also like a little doodle. I did, and at work I was just bored and just doodling. Took a picture of it. Never knew nothing about it, like didn't care about it. Popped up on my Snapchat stories, and we were like, we were starting the company, and we were like, what should be our first designs? So this was the OG logo, but this was just a TV. It didn't have nothing to do with bones or anything, but it worked, and we threw it over to Ryan, and he turned it into what it is. And honestly, like, yeah, that's, it could be chicken scratch. It could be something that we find, cool, and we'll just like have ideas through certain images, and then we'll try and make it our own and change it, and yeah.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that I do fish a lot, so that's kind of the influence behind why I chose to do this. I forgot to mention that part, but yeah. Like, I've been fishing since I was a little kid, skating, all this stuff, and it's just like I've been catching these, specifically this fish right here, largemouth bass, as long as I can remember. So I was like, that'd be cool, like, to have like the bone theme and some Texas kind of theme, because like everybody I know, they skate, like they either skate or their fish, and a lot of them do both. So it was kind of like, oh, we'll give it a shot,
Yeah, we also decided on what type of fish.
Oh yeah.
That was a discussion, like what fish would be the best fish.
That's pretty interesting. A whole democratic process on the type of fish. No carp.
No carp, yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So everybody's kind of just incentivized strictly through community. Like there's no like financial incentive to be a part of this, or do you plan on that? I guess my main question is what is the incentive for people to want to join or buy Bone Crue stuff, and then where does Bone Crue see themselves being in 5 years?
So like mainly so we kind of have it in like a bracket platform right now, like based off your skill level and the years riding. But essentially how it works is like you get exposure through us posting on us posting you on our Instagram, and also us probably more than likely throwing you a free shirt or a free hat or something like that, just hooking you up from the get. And then it basically has to do with, as long as you're providing consistent footy here and there, like it doesn't even have to be like that regular, just as long as you give me something to post like once a month or something like that, then we keep you on the team, and we just keep fed, like throw you shirt and whatnot. But for the upper or higher riders, like we got a couple riders right now that we're talking about putting on flow permanently. So it's like, it just kind of goes off your skill level and stuff like that, which is kind of a weird way to put it, but it's like, eventually we want to get to the point when we're somewhat profitable to where we can kind of give back to all our riders, you know what I mean, and like make some incentive to where like maybe we can throw them like a yearly bonus or something like that, cash wise, just so that way it just gives you that much more incentive to be with us. But it's really just like, as of right now, we're just like, if you like to have fun and you ride and you have good vibes, then we would like to have you on the team. And it doesn't have to be anything serious if that's not what you're looking for. But for the more serious people, we kind of put them in a different bracket, so that way it's just a fair playing ground, but hopefully in 5 years, we'll have a good, lineup. And it's like I tell Pablo all the time, like the only way, that we can fail at this is if we stop. So it's just one of those things, like as long as you're persistent and like you see your goal and kind of like the ballpark of where you want to be like next year or next month, like financial wise, because like work 60-hour weeks, like this is not profitable for us, you know what I mean? We just do this out of love. But it's like I love it, so it's like I'm not complaining at all. It's like I love doing this. Like it really makes me motivated, because like I've always wanted a clothing brand since like literally as long as I can remember, and Pablo can contest to that. Like I tell him all the time, like this is what I want to do, this is what I want to do. And then finally, like right before COVID hit, we just pulled the trigger on this thing, and which is like a terrible time to do that. But yeah, we pulled the trigger on it, and like we just haven't stopped. And it's like sometimes we'll come out and we'll have like four pieces of clothing for a season, and sometimes we'll only have 2. So it just kind of like goes based on like how our finances are doing at that time. But, hopefully we're still kicking it in 5 years. We got a good group, a team. I'd really like to get, more surfers and snowboarders on the team and get that area a little bit more filled. And, hopefully we can start getting involved in like some bigger contests and just kind of getting out there to more and more people every day, and just keep the same mission of just like, if you love to ride and you want to have fun, come ride for us. Like that's literally it.
A good incentive at least for me, is just like when I was growing up and like seeing all these local companies do their thing and like, you know, have people ride for them. I always wanted to be a part of something like that, you know, and I've always been cool with like, shout out Day One Skateboards and stuff. I grew up with the owner around the same area and stuff. And like, I've always seen these people that were like so good at skateboarding before I even got into skateboarding. And whenever I did get into skateboarding, I was just like, man, like it's so cool to be a part of something. And like the Bone Crew, I feel like is so community based, and like I feel like it's just a good feeling to be part of a community. It's like it's not like a club, but it's just like something you can be, like a club. It's something you could be a part of. It's not strict, you know. It's just it feels good to be like shown. Obviously we promote, we give out clothes, we do all that stuff, but like I think just being part of the Bone Crew and like just knowing that you're part of a bigger community is pretty cool. And then we want to honestly push our riders to get into better brands and stuff as well, you know. Like we love putting out opportunities like, hey, I know this person from this brand, maybe they can, you know, hook you up. You know, we want to push people to get good at their sports and just, you know, hopefully they were a part of the ride, and yeah, like that's it. And then in 5 years, you know, I really don't know like where we would be. I would like to have like a stacked team and stuff, but all I know is that I'm still gonna be doing this. Like I don't care. Like Kurry said, this is like not the most profitable thing, but I'm just doing it for the love. It's awesome. You know, I spend a lot of money, invest a lot of money is more of a better term, but I invest a lot of money. That's a dope word. I'm sorry, ADHD kicked in right there. But yeah, like it's not the most profitable, but I just know I'm just gonna keep on doing it, and the only way we can fail is if we stop, because as long as it's here and it exists, it's still going. So yeah.
I love that, man. I love the whole idea of consistency. I get asked, like, as the owner of the skate gym, oh yeah, you know, it'd be great if you do this, and all these people coming at me with their ideas and like big picture, long-term, high-level things. And man, I got to think about like each day, like how we're going to stay open, you know, and like how we can, you know, tweak things on a day-to-day basis just to keep the doors open. And so, yeah, like you said, it's not profitable. It's not profitable for me either right now. Yet, right? Mm-hmm. Exactly. And so this community kind of just building and growing is a slow process, like a freight train getting going. But once it gets going, it'll develop enough speed and steam, you know. And I feel like you guys have been doing that for a while too, you know. Like everybody around here knows who the Bone Crew is. It's crazy. Like everybody, like once you get past Mopac up 183, it's like yeah. So but anyway, I just want to ask like some more fun questions right now. Okay. Like give me your top 3 skateboarders.
I already know his.
Mike Vallely, Mike Mo Capaldi, and who's the third one though? I'm gonna have to say it's probably like a tie between Eric Costa and P-Rod. So yeah, that's my top 3.
That was quick, man. Normally everybody's like, oh.
I don't like to nitpick it because it's like if you ask me tomorrow, my answer could be different because I just saw a video or something. Yeah. But it's just like, you know, like I grew up watching specifically all 4 of those dudes, like idolizing my riding after them. Like Sean Malto would be like another throw-in, you know, for like maybe a close fourth. But like I tried to model my skateboarding after those guys. So it's just like, you know, Mike Vallely, not so much. I just loved his aesthetic, and I loved, you know, how involved he was in the community. He has these series on YouTube. It's like Off the Road or something like that. They're like some of the greatest videos ever. He just goes out and like just gives kids new skateboards and just goes and skates with them, and it's just like a super cool thing. And I, like even at a young age, like I recognized that was like a badass move. You know what I mean? Like to like be doing that, like because he doesn't have to be. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, that's for me.
So this is a loaded question. So while he was talking, I was trying to think. I mean,
I saw that you were processing.
The first person that always comes to mind is Manny Santiago, because he is not only super good at handrail skating, flip in, flip out, the most insane varial heel variations. he is a Puerto Rican skateboarder that has made it to like X Games and made it to like, Street League, and just he's done so much for the community. And when I go back to Puerto Rico and I see like a place like Skate Hop, where I'm from, Maya West, Puerto Rico, that's where the skate shop is that he owns, and like I get to see his influence, the skate parks, all that stuff, and it's really cool because I started skateboarding here, and going to Puerto Rico after I started skateboarding, nothing like I didn't go across my little town. I come from a little town called Las Marias, but where I was born is Maya West. So when I got older and I was able to like drive around in Puerto Rico and then see all that stuff, it was cool to see like something that I thought was just like mainly an American thing, and then obviously around the world, but in Puerto Rico it was just not as big as I thought. But he did that. And then the other two that come to mind for me is Shane O'Neill and Chaz Ortiz. Chaz Ortiz, he doesn't like, he still skates. I see his Instagram clips. He does a lot of transition now, which is cool, but he's just the cleanest skaters, Same with freaking Shane O'Neill. But yeah, like I could go on a list like Sean Malto, Mike Mo Capaldi. I actually have a list of like my favorite skaters, my top 5, and my top 5 cleanest favorite skaters, like the clean ones, and then just like raw, like Dustin Dolan. I just like his attitude. Like I just like the way he just goes for stuff, and yeah, like there's just an endless list. But top 3 right there: Chaz Ortiz, Shane, and Manny Santiago.
That's a hard question to answer. So like, it's like, what's your favorite food? It's like, I don't know. Ask me tomorrow.
That's very true. I think we just spoke about this not too long ago, actually.
Yeah, literally, I was like, I don't know, dude. Like, I'm like, because like Chris Cole, like there's another one I was just thinking about while you were talking. I'm like, how did I not think of it? It's like, you can sit there and like nitpick it all day, but it's just like, I was just like, let's just get 3 out there. Like,
Yeah, I hear you. Is there any board like dream setup or particular past setup that you're just like, I would love to have that again, or like I would love to have this particular setup?
So setup wise, not really, but I could go on for shoes for days. We could talk about shoes, like the P-Rod 5s. I literally like had the best kick flips of my life in that shoe. I could literally do it blindfolded like every try. But for like boards and stuff wise, like I did have like my first board, it was like an Element BAM. I was like that. It was all decked out like BAM Destructos, like Featherlight Element wheels. Like I would love to have that set up again. That would be really dope. But dude, I don't know. I break so many skateboards. It's like so hard to think about like which one I would like back and which one I wouldn't. And like there's so many times that I've been just riding like hand-me-down boards. So I can't really think of like a setup necessarily that I would like back. But definitely shoes. Yeah. I could think of shoes all day.
I could definitely think of a setup. So, I used to be like a grizzly person, but now I'm doing mob. But really, like, the grip tape doesn't really matter to me. I like mob. We'll do mob. The deck, I would probably do. Let's see, man. That's hard. Back in the day, I had this Ryan Sheckler Plan B. Plan B was dope.
Sweet.
Independent trucks. Just the normal ones, and then Spitfire Formula 4s. I used to do Reds, Bones Reds. They're always good if like they're so reliable and whatnot. But I've been getting into what is it? Bronsons. So Bronson bearings. But the same thing with him. I could think of shoes like that, like same P-Rod 5s. There's these P-Rod 2.5s, freaking just like an old brick DC, like
2010 Andrew Reynolds, Americas, mid-tops.
These honestly pretty sweet Lakais. Whenever they came out with the pretty sweet video, those were dope.
Those are sick.
But yeah, I could go with shoes.
Yeah, no, I'm
boards like, I mean, I could like do like I could
trucks and wheels.
Yeah,
I can like
Independence and Formula 4 Spitfires for sure.
I've only ever rode Independence. Like I've had Thunders, I've had Ventures, but it's like literally for 18 years I've literally only rode Independence, so it'd be like almost weird at this point to like stop.
Yeah, you're so used to it.
Yeah, and like I go back and forth from Spitfire to Bones. I'm like both of them are good wheels, so I've never had a problem with either of them. I do tend to buy Spitfire more because I think they're a little bit more slippery, but Reds bearings, 100%, never strayed from those either. And then I'm 100% a grizzly guy. I cannot skate mob whatsoever. So like if you threw some mob on there, I would just literally try to kick flip in the board to go through the freaking wall. So yeah, I gotta have grizzly or some. If I can't find grizzly, then I'll ride like some Jessup or something like that.
Yeah. Wow, man, you guys are the first guests I've had that have like really just didn't care much about as much about the setup more than shoes. And I guess that's a reflection of the change in riding style over the years as well. Because most of the people that I've interviewed have been older. I think you two may be the youngest guests I've had, as far as I know. Are you younger than Dakota White? I think so. But yeah, man. Like most of the guys are like, yeah, an old Neo Blender coffee guy setup.
Yeah.
Yeah, slime balls, wheels, you know, but they never go to shoes first, which I guess you guys do a lot more flip tricks and stuff. And you're making me feel old about the whole, you know, a lot of the things you're dropping. But hey, that's cool, man. I love it. I want to ask, as we kind of like curtail this down, do you have any like shout outs you want to mention here?
Let's shout out Day One Skateboard first and foremost. My boy Anthony, he's always supporting, and he's got really good decks. Me and Papa ride them. That's all. I mean, that's all I ride. But shout out to Skucky Skateboards out in Fort Worth. They're always supporting us and telling us about contests and stuff to come out there. And then shout out to Houston Skateboards family out in Houston. They always invite us. Yeah, they always invite us out. Like they've all shown nothing but love, you know. So it's just appreciate it. Much love.
Yeah, I wanted to say shout out Day One again. They've really shown us a lot of support. They've helped us build a bridge with the community as well. So I'm forever grateful with them. I want to shout out companies like Fritz, Oompa. You know, he's been in the game for so long, and I've looked up to that company for a while. And I do like taking inspiration from his company and stuff. Scoochie, Houston Skate Wars. Shout out Squash Skateboards, my boy Gus, little collective.
Gooberous.
Yeah, and he's killing it. His whole team is stacked. Follow them on Instagram, Squash Skateboards, and yeah, man.
Right on. Well, I appreciate you guys' support and for just being here for this interview too. So
Yeah.
cool.
Ooh, I got one more shout out.
Totally.
I'm so sorry. Shout out Skate Hop from in Puerto Rico, the skate shop in Maya West, which I'm forever grateful for their skate shop. So
right on. Yeah, like over the ocean homies. Well,
Yeah.
not quite that far over the ocean, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thanks.